Welcome back to the channel, everybody. It's Semi-Original Guy, aka Mr. Cannon from Advanced Wars by Web, bringing you another live league game of the day. Today we are on Langress. This is a triple base airport comm tower supported matchup with some HQs tossed in the corner of the map, which actually are fairly contested. Now, you wouldn't think that they're too contested, but they are fairly open because they are sort of divided by this riverway here, so it's a little bit difficult to get to them. Very, very easy HQ rush map, folks, if you are not prepared. Now, we have a cool one here, folks. We have MWB versus OlafIsCancer, aka High Funds, High Fun. So we have an Addermere today, folks. So Adder, as a day-to-day ability, will have nothing, but he does have access to his co-power and super co-power, side slip and sidewinder, which will increase his movement range by 1 and by 2 respectively. So this is a very cool map, folks. Very cool map. It is, there's a little bit of debate on this map. Some people like it, some people don't, but it's a map, and this is what we got here today, folks. So I thought this was a really cool game. It's going to be a fairly quick game, so it's not going to be the normal. So it's not going to be like the normal slugfest that you were used to seeing on this channel. We're going to do a nice quick one today because I thought this was just a really, really good game, and I believe that we should probably cover it, folks. So without further ado, let's go ahead and get into this one here. On the first few days, folks, you guys know the deal. You guys and girls, you know the deal. Standard infantry builds. Say it with me, folks. Standard infantry builds. Because you gotta get the infantry on the field. Number 1 priority in Advanced Wars by Web. Number 2 priority in Advanced Wars by Web. Always capture that neutral base, folks. That is priority number 2 all the time. So this map has a few different avenues that you could take on this map, for sure. So one thing that you could do is you could rush the center and try to grab the contested properties and possibly deny your opponent one of the properties. Or you could rush the sides, go for your airport, go for your comm tower very, very quickly, and then rush the HQ right afterwards. Now, if you get the airport and the comm tower, it's actually puts you in a perfect position to start spamming out air units, start spamming out land units over here, block your opponent right here, and then rush the HQ. So your opponent, or your job, depending on the situation, is to get past this little threshold right here, form a line in this area, and prevent your opponent from getting to your HQ. Now, you can get to the HQ from behind here, or you can go over the riverway with some infantry, so it's not impossible to prevent it if they do reach that area, but it is nice to have that sort of security blanket over there, folks. It's all about security blankets here. Maybe priority number 3 in Advanced Wars by Web is always make sure you have yourself a security blanket. Alright, so MWB is pumping out the infantry, not really anything out of the ordinary right now. OlafIsCancer is pushing the middle right now, folks, with a single infantry and a tank purchase over here on day 5. MWB definitely going to be busting out the tank this turn as well. It just depends on which property he's going to bust it out from. So he busted it out on the right-hand side of the map here, which isn't too bad. I don't necessarily dislike the tank out of this property here. It is a very good position because we can get over here pretty quickly. Now, if we busted it out from here, it would be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So the only difference would be we would be able to put the tank right here, but this position right here does give us a little bit more variety in where we can put our tanks. So I think that's okay busting it out from here. So OlafIsCancer finishes off the caps that are available to him and goes in for a capture of one of the properties in the middle. Boom. So it is day 6. MWB. He's got a couple options here, folks. Now, obviously, side maneuvers are pretty standard. You know, you're going to finish off your caps. You're probably going to go back and cap this property. Cap right here, cap right here, cap there, cap there. Standard stuff. But what you really have to decide on what to do is what to do in the center here, because you can either go for 2 caps in the center and bring your tank down, or you can go over here, interrupt the capture right here, and then go for a capture right here. So that's definitely a possibility. Not sure what MWB is going to do here, but let's find out, folks. Now, I think probably... So he's going to go for the 2 captures, which is... It's fine. It's a nice... It's being very conservative, right? We go for the 2 captures, hope that our opponent doesn't interrupt one of them. Now, I think maybe in this situation, it might be better to initiate the fight and actually go for the interrupt. Yes, we might lose an infantry out of it, but we would stop Olaf over here from getting one of the properties. And then we would also, in turn, be able to secure this capture right here. And we have tank backup, so if the tank does go up and take the shot, we could potentially attack it with one of our tanks. There's no tank backup here at the moment, and no tank that can actually reach this tile. So we go in, we attack the tank dead on, bring in another tank, and then we would have a little bit of tempo when it comes to our tank engagements here. So I think maybe that could be, that more or less should probably be the play, but we'll see. Because OlafIsCancer goes up and does the interrupt, and then acquires the property, and now he's in the driver's seat here. He's got an early lead. He managed to deny one of the properties. Obviously, MWB is going to be able to capture this property and might even go in for a tank strike right here. There is a tank strike available. We could get a strike right here. Now, however, is that really the play? Probably. You would think that going up here and taking the engagement is a good thing, but let's see what happens here. So we take the engagement, 5-8 engagement, pretty good. Bring in the 2nd tank. Bust out a 3rd tank. Bring the infantry more towards the center of the map. And we actually continue the capture right here as well. So now we have an injured tank. Olaf has 2 tanks on the way over here. So what do we do? What do we do in this situation? Do we continue fighting, or do we pull back? What do we do? Boom, we capture a property. Great. So now Olaf has managed to capture 2 properties in the center and should be able to deny this property. We can actually bring this tank back, bring 3 infantry forward, guard this line, bring 2 tanks over to defend the center, and then possibly go back and try to get some heals with this tank. Now, we could easily bust out another tank from this position too to cover over here, or bust out a tank from right here, maybe cover over here, or just go for center tank again. But we are going to be going for that comm tower, folks. We're going to bring the tank back, and we are going to deny the income. So now is a very interesting situation indeed, because Olaf has managed to gain 17 properties. MWB only has 15 and does not have any captures going on this turn. So it's going to be 2 days minimum before he can start getting a boost to that income. So for 2 days, Olaf is going to be able to have a 2k lead when it comes to income, which is going to be severely good, folks. Severely good. So we do lose an infantry, unfortunately. Is what it is, folks. You can't really do much about it, but we have denied the income. MWB goes for a battle cop to buy. Looks like he is setting up his infantry on the western front to do some sort of an HQ push. Busts out a tank, has to base skip for the infantry. So because we bought battle cop to tank infantry, we didn't have enough money for a base, or for a second infantry, which is more or less fine. You know, it's not necessarily a huge deal not being able to bust out like 1 infantry if we get 2 vehicles in that turn. So I think that's perfectly fine. Olaf jumps off of his comm tower, goes and interrupts the capture. Takes a 7-7 engagement right there. What an absolute mad lad. Busts out the battlecopter, and now is going in for an attack, taking out one of the infantry, busting up a anti-air unit to ward off the battlecopter. Manages to get full buys, and now is taken in incredibly defensive position right here. So it will be very hard to attack into this. I mean, we can bring our tanks forward. We have this right here is perfectly defended. If MWB goes in to interrupt this comm tower, well, he's going to have a little bit of a problem here because there's only one tank available. We have an infantry right here that's available. Now, more than likely, this capture is not going to be able to go through. Probably the best option here, I would say, would be to bring it back and sit it on the HQ or go in for the interrupt. But if you go in for the interrupt, that leaves your HQ incredibly vulnerable. We could start a capture, could block with the battlecopter, and then it would just be a slow ticking time bomb before we were able to capture that HQ. So I think he's probably, the best option would be to pull it back and sit on the HQ. But we go in for a triple attack on an infantry in the center, and we're going for an attack on the tank. And we get the clear on the tank. That is a fairly lucky shot, but very interesting indeed. So this was a pretty lucky hit down here, I'm not gonna lie. Like, that probably, there's only like a 33% chance that usually goes through. Especially because I don't think it actually hit anything. So yeah, that is, luck is a hell of a drug, folks, in AWBW, that's for sure. So Olaf acquires the comm tower. Great, you'll love to see it, folks. And then he spots a break. He spots a break in the position, a weakness in the wall, you could say. Eliminates the infantry, goes in for the capture, and is gonna now be able to bring in the anti-air and corner that battlecopter. And we do snipe out a tank. Huge flipping engagement. Now we were taking a 7 to full HP engagement here. Takes it down to 4. Or it takes it down to 6, and we go down to 4 in response. But anti-air is now in an insanely powerful position, blocking the airport, and in addition to that, we are trapping this battlecopter down here. The only area this battlecopter is going to be able to go would be go down and sit on the city, and that's it. That's the only place it can go. If it goes north, well, we get anti-air. Now, possibly he could wall up with the infantry over here, bring the battlecopter over here, and then slice it over to the center of the map right afterwards. But we are going to need tank support if we are going to pull off that move. Like, we have to build a tank out of this position next turn in order to bring that tank down to ward off the anti-air, because that anti-air is not going to leave this copter alone, folks. Like, without a doubt, he's going to be hunting that man, hunting him down. And Olaf brings all of his vehicles into the center of the map now. Busts out another 2 tanks and infantry this turn. Fantastic buys. So MWB, we lost a tank. We have a tank sitting at 6, and we are blocked in, folks. This tank cannot go anywhere. Very, very unfortunate. And I do not believe that there's actually a way to break it out. Maybe there is. Let's see. We can go infantry, break this. Then we can go infantry, and break this. And yeah, we should be able to get the tank out. So let's see if he does that. That's definitely a possibility. Yeah, so we do break it out. And we bring a tank over to attack the comm tower, go and defend our HQ. I kind of disagree with this anti-air placement. So let's get back to where we were here. So we go here, we go there. Anti-air placement right here. So we're out of tank range. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. We don't. If the copter goes to the center, the anti-air is widely out of position to actually attack it. It looks like, and we're kind of out of position to block the airport as well, unless we use super co-power. So maybe he's trying to do some sneaky maneuvers to get a super co-power and bust out whatever air unit that Olaf decides to buy. But I think this guy should probably be more centralized in order to sort of ward off this copter attack here, folks. Now, mind you, MWB is also about a 1450 rated player, so definitely has a little bit more game knowledge than myself. So if he's got a plan for it, then that is fantastic. But we are definitely out of range to support. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Okay, so maybe. So because Olaf is moving right here, if we do super co-power, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So super co-power, we could potentially reach this, but having to use a super co-power means that you don't get 2 normal co-powers, which is going to be equally not as great. So Olaf is taking a huge push into the center of the map, folks. Absolutely massive push. Also now 2 tanks and an infantry, and then bringing the anti-air over here. So we will not have anything to worry about from this tank. Very nice position indeed, actually. Very nice. So MWB, we go in, we take a tank engagement, sacking the battlecopter. Very interesting. Okay, so we are gonna full sack the battlecopter so that we can get co-power, super co-power. Yeah, okay, so we are going for the super co-power, folks. Ooh, using the tank to take out that infantry. What is the capture on this? 10? We could easily go in with just the infantry and interrupt that even further. Is there anything that this tank could potentially go mid and help the fight over here? So interesting that we're gonna go for that attack. Alright, so we follow up a tank right there. Got another tank. Anti-air moving in, takes out the battlecopter. Yep. Very nice snipe. Let me go in, take out infantry. Attack another infantry. Take out the 4 HP tank. Take out another infantry. Block the block the tank that just came in. So nice. And another double tank infantry buy this turn, folks. So all in all, it was an okay attack, but I feel like Olaf has some play here. If he just uses normal co-power, he can get multiple attacks here, folks. So we are going to capture the property. So 18 to 16, Olaf pops the co-power. So he goes in, manages to get an engagement here, get an engagement there, get an engagement here, get an engagement there. Brings the anti-air in, gets a 2-shot, manages to take out the tank, brings 2 more tanks in to eliminate a tank, and we eliminate the battlecopter and start a capture on the comm tower. Brings the infantry up for extra attack on the tank, and now we build a triple tank. Triple tank, folks. I think this is what you call the coup de grace, so to speak. Definitely the finishing blow there, folks, as OlafIsCancer just rushes in there, manages to do such a devastating push after the use of the super co-power, and MWB is not going to have any co-power metered for quite some time. Maximum attacks that he could get here would be maybe 1 strike right here, 1 strike on the tank. That would still leave Olaf with like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 tanks to MW's like what, like 5? So yeah, OlafIsCancer is a heck of a player. High funds, high fun. What a player, folks. One of the best lively players out there. Congratulations to Olaf on the win. Very well played. MWB played a fantastic game as well. Like I said, that one was a little short, but I wanted to show it just because I thought it was super good with that push there, folks. So hopefully y'all enjoyed that one at home. If you did, consider leaving a like, comment, or subscribe to the channel. I will see you all in the next one. Take care of yourselves, and bye-bye for now.